So we have our backup. And have a great show, everybody. I'm going to open up the room now. I'm just going to go to the room. Where is the room? There it is there. Let's submit all. Okay, they're coming in.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're able to hear me loud and clear. I would like to welcome everyone who has joined in to welcome you warmly to this webinar today. Yes, yeah. I think someone says the sound is okay. Thank you. You can just give me a hands up if you know that the sound is really clear. And today we are really excited this morning to have you join us on this webinar. It could be a good morning, good evening, or whatever, wherever you are. But we are so happy that you've been able to make it this morning to join us. My name is Prosi Kawala. I'm the director at Center for Media Literacy and Community Development. And for today, for this webinar, I'm very honored that I'm going to be your host and taking you through for the next 1.5 to 2 hours of your time that you've dedicated this morning from where I'm speaking from. So today we really come together to look at a very critical issue where we see that over 60% of young Ugandans are unemployed or underemployed. Those are two very critical words that we are seeing here. But we also know that Uganda's youth are innovative, resilient, and brimming with potential. This session is about moving beyond the statistics to uncover practical solutions, opportunities, and commitments that can make a real difference. And with you on board, we know that this is going really to be, you're looking forward to a very great discussion. But also before we start or before we go any further, I would want also to say that this session has been convened by Master Peace Uganda chapter and Center for Media Literacy and Community Development, the Digital Grassroots Youth Hub that have really been able to bring us here today. This is supported by Hubcast Media. I think as we go on, we shall be getting to hear from different speakers, some from these very organizations that I've been mentioning. But also, I would like us, I'm just going to do a quick check-in and ask everyone to type something in the chat. If you are a student and you've logged into here, type 1. in the chat. I would just like to see. And if you are an employer or a mentor, type 2. If you are joining as a policy maker, type 3. I would want to see student 1, mentor or employer 2, policymaker 3. I'll be checking just to see. Okay. Yeah, I see students there. Oh, employers. We have a number of employers. This is very, very good. Here, employers and mentors, you are welcome to this webinar where we are exploring the state of youth unemployment and underemployment in Uganda. And the issue of unemployment actually cuts across borders. So it's not only Uganda, but we are talking about an issue that is a global issue. So thank you very much, employers and mentors. Thank you, students. Thank you, policy makers, for joining in today. So without wasting a lot of time, we have a lineup of amazing speakers. And I'm going to really start by introducing our first speaker, who is our keynote speaker today. And it is my pleasure to introduce keynote speaker, Professor Noeline Chirabo, a business development consultant with vast experience in youth empowerment, entrepreneurship, and social innovation. Professor Chirabo will help us frame today's conversation by exploring both the root causes and the opportunities within Uganda's youth employment challenge. Welcome, Professor Chirabo.
Thank you very much, Prosi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking to you from Kampala. It's a bright sunny morning, and it's a joy for me to be here. Talking about the state of youth unemployment, it took me back to 25 years ago. I was in a state that, as a young person, as a young Ugandan, I had never envisioned. I had potential, I had the intellect, but I was in a state where I was a victim of a broken system. And over the years, I have worked in the social impact space. And when we talk about youth unemployment, it's not really, oftentimes it's not an issue of competence. It's not an issue of desire. We are products of a broken system. And when we talk about systemic changes, systems are not built by a single person. So it cannot be broken by a single person. It cannot be built by a single person. We are talking about collective effort. And oftentimes as young people, we ask ourselves, what has the government done? Maybe the flip question should be, what's my contribution to either advancing unemployment or solving unemployment? And that's where the conversation centers this morning. As we analyze the state, the statistics are clear. Yes, we are a young country. And I have a purpose to always see the good in the mess. There are two perspectives in life. You can see the glass as half empty or the glass as half full. I choose to see the half full perspective. So as a young country, yes, it could be a disadvantage, but there's also great opportunity. And as a young country, we've also been noted to be among one of the most innovative countries in the world. Unfortunately, we have a high business mortality rate. But for me, again, I see potential that can still be harnessed. As a young country, one of the things we can leverage is the fact that we have high energy. The thing about being young is that you can afford to fail and pick up and run again. Now, the more you advance in your age, beyond 40, the risk of failing is too high. So we have an advantage that we have a huge population of young people that are not afraid to take risks, that can afford to fail and rebuild again, have the high energy, high investment of time, and the commitment to learn. So I see the potential therein that as ecosystem, we need to begin to think, how do we leverage the youthful energy that we have? If anybody thinks that youth are the future, you are wrong. Because in my perspective, youth are not the future, they are the present and the future. So having said that, how do we move past the current situation? Like I said, we are products of a broken system. However, it's going to take collective effort. There are things that we can begin to do in rebuilding or working or navigating around the broken system. And as I went back to the time 25 years ago, when I was forced to drop out of school due to financial reasons, navigate the system, that was the first time I realized that the economy doesn't look at you in light of your potential. It doesn't care how intellectual or intelligent you are. At that point, every opportunity I dared to approach judged me based on my lack of papers. That was the reality of the broken system. Unfortunately, little has changed in the last 25 years. And as a young person, I had the energy, I had the thrill, and I had the will to also navigate a system that no one taught me about. So in my journey, rebuilding my academic journey, rebuilding my career journey, I would like to share what I would call the sevenfold pathway, 7 things that I found to be very fundamental that would be crucial for us as support organization, but also crucial for you as a young person that is in this room today and you're wondering, where do I start from? We have quite a number of employers that are working with young people. As we are building programs, what are some of the fundamental things that we need to leverage that would help us better impact young people? So the first thing for me was the power of mentorship. I can never underestimate the power of mentorship, because when you have a mentor, you're basically standing on the shoulders of great men. A mentor will open doors that nothing in your hard work would ever open. A mentor will introduce you to certain spaces and things that will take you forever. And then 3, a mentor, you will learn what they learned in years in a single session. You redeem the time, you reduce the risk of failure. And so there's so much power in mentoring. As people who are building programs, I have had, I'd call them private conversations with some development partners. And one of the things, without being biased or anything, one of the things that has come out very clearly is that our young people are not ready for coaching. Again, I'm not being biased. Coaching is a great thing. Looking at the Ugandan system, the education system, where people are grown up with a teacher in front of the room, someone instructing them and telling them what to do. Most of our young people appreciate mentoring, hand-holding, showing them the way to navigate with them. So as people who are building programs, let's integrate mentoring. As a young person, one of the best investments you can make in your life is finding a reliable mentor. And the thing about mentoring, it's like teaching. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. You cannot attract the right mentors until you are teachable, until you're ready to learn. I work with I do work in the space of mentoring, and I do train mentors. And the thing is that great mentors don't have time. No mentor wants to waste their time. So until you are ready to learn, no mentor is going to invest in you. There's got to be a match between your readiness and the availability of a mentor. So the first pathway in rebuilding and navigating the system is leveraging mentors, where we are able to get older generations to handhold young people. There's so much we can learn from the older generation. They may not be tech savvy, but trust me, they know the loops of this system than you will ever know in your few years. So let's leverage mentoring. The second fold in the pathway for me was leveraging technology. And I'm glad that today we are here to talk about technology. Now, that was the early 2000s, and technology wasn't as advanced as it is today. There are many things that weren't common then that are very common now. I built my first CV using free online courses. And at that time, as a young person, I remember the first time I did an online course and got a certificate, I was so overwhelmed. I was so excited. I was telling all my friends, do you know you can actually do a course online and get a certificate for it? And everyone was rolling their eyes like, what's that? Are you okay? Who does that? But over time, I navigated the marketplace. I got into employment. Nobody ever questioned my papers, because if your competence matches your qualifications, then it matters. So for the young person in this room, I would like to clarify that the certificate or the paper does not make you. The paper should only validate what you are. So in all your learning, don't learn to acquire papers. Learn to build competence, because at the end of the day, your papers will get you shortlisted for the interview. But what is going to keep you in that room is your ability to execute. So leveraging technology, there's so much we can learn. I have mentored young people who have started their businesses using YouTube. They learned a skill. I encourage them to get a local mentor. They went into apprenticeship, and today they're running a business. So do not sit back and say, because I come from a financially disadvantaged position, then I can't. Dig into the web ask yourself, what do I want to learn? To this day, I can say that 70% of the things I've learned as an adult were self-taught. I have literally learned to teach myself, even as an entrepreneur, as a mature person. When I want to learn something, the first place I go to is not register for a course, in a university or an institution. The first place I check is online. Until I can't get it on, learn it by myself, then I'll find someone to teach me. And if need be, then I'll go sign up for certification. So oftentimes, by the time I'm getting certified, I am only validating what I already know. So how are you using technology? Many of our young people are using TikTok. But the thing about online is that you can use TikTok for entertainment, or I can use TikTok for learning. The time I was on TikTok, there are times I learned to troubleshoot and navigate certain tech things because I was intentional about what I was looking for. So use your time online to learn and build capacity, but also to bridge the gap between you and the global market. The third pathway in there is developing a self-paced learning culture, which is very relatable to learning online. The thing about self-paced learning is that we are transitioning from a culture, especially as an adult. The moment you exit from school in Uganda, you are on your own. And you need to learn to build a new culture where there's going to be no teacher standing in front of you, but now you begin to take initiative for yourself. Learn something. Purpose to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day. Your life will drastically change. There is so much you can do if you take initiative. You need to move past who is going to help me to begin to take steps. The biggest doors I've been able to open in my life are doors I literally kicked down. Why? Because I refused to wait. If I knew I had what it takes, I found a way around it. Like we normally say, where there's a will, there is a way. Take initiative. As an employer, when I employ someone, if they have at least 50%, or even 70 is always an advantage of the competence I'm looking for, that the 30% is not how smart they are, which school they went to, or which socioeconomic status they come from. The 30% is how teachable are they? Are they able to drive their own learning? I can employ someone who has 40% competence if I notice that they have the capacity to drive their learning, because I know in a short time they will catch up. And that could be the thing that is keeping you out of some of the opportunities. Take initiative to learn. The fourth pathway for me has been engaging in growth spaces just like this. There is so much power in network. It has been said that your network is a network. So who do you know? The reality of a broken system is that you will need to know people. That's the reality. We may not want to admit it, but it is what it is. So today you will need to know certain people to get into certain spaces, even to access certain opportunities. As a young person, be intentional in your networking. Join professional spaces early. This is the point where you also want to apply for fellowships, accelerators, incubators, all these programs. And if you're a young person in this room, I would like to note that most opportunities these days are closing off at 35. So the closer you get to 35, you're exiting the opportunity loop. So start early. With every opportunity you get, it's not about the money. It's not about how much money are you going to get out of an opportunity. Your networks are vital. I have learned over time that there are opportunities you'll never learn about until you're in certain spaces. There is so much in our ecosystem, so many opportunities, so many trainings, so many openings. Oftentimes, these are being communicated in particular spaces. So strategically position yourself in professional spaces that will help you advance to where you want to go. There's so much knowledge, but also as a person that works in professional spaces, it's easier to reach out to someone, a professional, and say, I am in this space with you. I would love to have a cup of coffee with you. That person won't charge you consultancy. But if you approach them out of that network, you're coming at their rate fee. And normally they're going to be high. They'll tell you my hourly rate is this. And you're going to be thrown off balance as a young person. So the question is that as a young person, which network spaces are you in? And as people who are building entrepreneurship or youth support organizations, how are we helping our young people to navigate the ecosystem? Are we introducing them to other ecosystem players? Are we intentional to build roadways into the exit spaces? As a person that has worked in the entrepreneurship space for the last 11 years, one of the frustrations, and I know you're going to talk about it, one of the frustrations that we're hearing from young people, I hear it, I resonate with it, and I understand the pain, is the question that after they are trained, then what? The exit strategies have to be strengthened. People are looking for what happens after I have acquired the skills. And so building roadways and bridges into the wider ecosystem for any service provider is an advantage, because then you become a referral point. I will train you on investor readiness. I should be able to introduce you to potential investors or to a network that provides investment. That is a successful exit strategy for a program design. So as our young people are looking for spaces, oftentimes they need help to be introduced in those spaces. The fifth pathway is it's closely related to the intentional networking. And networking is not about getting a business card. It's not about increasing the number of followers and connections on social medias. It's about building relationships. There's a difference between being a hunter and being a farmer. When you are a hunter, there are no relationships. You are shallow. You might close that deal, but it's not going to be sustainable. As a young person, begin to build sustainable pathways by networking that focuses on relationship building. It's not about how many people you know. It's how many people that know you and would recognize you at a first name basis. When you pick up a call and say, my name is Prosi, do I immediately recognize you? Or do I have to go like, Prosi who? From where? Where did you meet? What do you do? If we're going that lane, I don't know you. There's no social capital. And whatever your ask is going to be a long shot. So invest in building relationships. That's the real network, the person that recognizes you on a first name basis. Second last is building a strong personal online brand. I wish I would underplay this, but I can't, because the reality is that we are in a global village. People judge you by how you're showing up online. In the spaces where I mentor and coach, I normally tell people, if I can't find you online, you are as good as extinct in this generation. Yes, you could be living, you have a national ID and a passport, but you're as good as extinct because we can't locate you. So as a young person, you have great potential, you have great ideas. Invest in building a strong brand. Building a strong brand is not about money. It's being professional and being authentic. Let the world see you for who you are. Oftentimes, the things that help you build a strong base don't require so much money. You just need to keep showing up. That's the harder thing. And that's the most important thing. How are you showing up? Because a person who consistently shows up, oftentimes will get more visibility than others. Today, as employers, as people who do applications or even fellowships, whatever you're going to apply for, the first line they're going to check out is your online presence. And if you're really serious about your profession, you cannot ignore LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your online CV. Before we read your CV, we read your LinkedIn. So how updated is it? Because that's where people judge your professional image, and it cannot be underplayed. It's interesting, unfortunately still, that sometimes there are people who have mastered the game of faking it online, and they will be able to get into certain rooms, but they cannot sustain those spaces. I'll give us a quick example. Yesterday, I was talking to a colleague. She's an HR guru and a consultant, and she had a full day training. The night before, all her gadgets, I think it was a virus or something, they all just shut down. Her phone, her iPad, her laptop, her everything went down. She walks into a room full of people and she has nothing she had prepared online. And then she sat down and realized, no, I did my notes. I can actually re-walk through the pattern. She was able to facilitate a whole day without any notes to reference. She was working on what she knew in her mind. When she told me that story, I told her, that's the difference between building competence and running with AI. Ladies and gentlemen, AI is a great tool, but it will let you down if your competence is shallow. It's a matter of time and people will see through you. Let AI amplify your competence. Do not let AI become your competence, because that's what I would call a hot air balloon. Someday it's gonna blow up and people realize there is nothing in there. And the last hole for me in the pathway is never be afraid to try. The fact that we're talking to young people, like I said, you can afford to fail. Cut yourself some slack, try. If you fail, pick yourself up and try again. One of the best questions I normally ask myself is, what's the worst that can happen. And that is what determines whether I go forward or not. If the worst that can happen can't kill me, then it's worth trying. So I hope that the 7 polls can be something that we can think about as a youth programs, but also for a young person. I'll recap quickly: leveraging mentoring, leveraging the tech advancement, and third is becoming a self-paced learner. Fourth is engaging in growth spaces that allow you to access opportunities, building networks that are focused on relationships, building a strong online brand, and never being afraid to try. Thank you very much, and I'll hand it back to Kofi.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Professor Chirabo, for those 7 pointers that you just submitted and shared with us. I hope if you've been really listening, then you've picked out enough. There's one thing that really struck me. When you started, you said we are all a product of a broken system. That's really like touched me, and this is why we have some of these conversations to see how we can get ourselves out of these broken systems that we are talking about now and again. I'm going to really have to give a chance to about 2-3 people, participants, if you want to really to ask Professor Chirabo a question. But before that, I wanted really to read out interesting statistics about the state of youth unemployment in Uganda, so that we can see why this conversation is here today. According to the National Planning Authority, approximately 4.2 million youths in Uganda, and that's about 41% of the youth population, are classified as not in employment, in education, or any training. And that's the NEET report that you can actually look out. And some estimates are even higher. The 2024 National Population and Housing Census places the NEET rate among 18 to 30-year-olds at 51%, with only 12% in school and 35% in employment. And then we have other surveys like the WUBOS Labor Force Survey of 2021 that align on similar figures, indicating 41% of youths are not in education, not in employment or training. You know, these are statistics that are really alarming and that really call for a lot of innovation and conversations around this. And we can also see that a large portion of these youth we are describing here, they say 58% are unskilled. You know, that speaks to what Professor Chirabo has been talking about. And then most of them are actually from large poor rural households and often 25 to 27 age bracket. So we are here and we think that this conversation is really timely, and we have really to come together and see what each of us can put to the table to see that we try to address some of these challenges and maybe even bring down these statistics. So I want to see who has a question for Dr. Chirabo. And if at all there isn't, I would just like to find out from Professor Chirabo if there are some innovations out there, out of Uganda, on how people have handled the challenge of youth unemployment. Aside from what you just spoke about, those 7 pillars that you gave us, what else is being done elsewhere that maybe us in Uganda could adopt?
Thank you, Prosi. Very valid question. When I was looking up what are the other initiatives that are working, especially among countries that share a similar ecosystem. So being a young country, one of the things we realize is that our young people have a heavy burden of responsibility. So we have 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds who are already acting like parents. By the time some people are at university, they're already paying school fees for their peers and themselves and putting food on the table. And so the reality is that the minds of our young people are not thinking like their age, so to say, because of the burden of responsibility. They're already thinking, I need to make a living and I also need to pursue my dreams. So one of the things, the common trait I found in the projects that I'm going to share about is the fact that they build strong exit strategies, which is what I was talking about. Because when a young person is desperate to put food on the table and keep a roof on their head, they're going to do anything that brings in income. So any program that is not attending to the basic needs, enabling them attend to their basic needs, is going to fall short. And oftentimes that's where our gap has been as Ugandans. We are very great at skilling. We have so many accelerators, so many incubators. We are doing great, but then we have not been able to build a strong exit strategy or an outlet strategy. Why? Because we have fewer jobs that can't absorb all our young people. The next strategy would be to increase job creation. The people that we are trying to empower to create job creation do not yet have the capacity to fend for themselves before even they employ someone else. So I looked at one of those is the Ajira Digital. They're found in Kenya. It's a government-backed up hub that trains youth for online gigs and links them to work with shared infrastructure and mentorship. And why this has worked for them is because the independent reviews note that over thousands have been trained since 2020, and tens of thousands have been linked to online jobs by building both skill and market access. So again, the opportunity here has been when a young person sees the end, to what end am I doing this course? To what end am I learning this skill? So their success has not been just in the skilling, but in how many online jobs. And so this brings us to the second fold, let's talk about leveraging technology. If we are operating in a global market and a global village, how do we bridge that divide? There are jobs out there that our young people can do, but someone has to outsource those jobs. Of course, the government of Kenya has positioned themselves right. As a government, they have greater negotiating capacity. And so if their reviews are saying tens of thousands, that's great impact, because young people appreciate the gig economy, and most of them are slowly appreciating the fact that I may not get a full-time job, but I need to be able to earn and make a living, a decent living at that. So that's one of those that caught my attention. The other one is the Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator there in South Africa, which is a workforce intermediation platform that screens for potential and then offers short work readiness and matches youth to employers that adopt inclusive hiring. Now, this has worked because in the space of South Africa, they have more job opportunities. Yes, they are fewer than the young people, but there are more job creators, and the job creators are an older generation, which is a disadvantage we don't have here, that there are more people creating the job, so they can actually create a pipeline for young people. So the accelerator has become the bridge that links the young people to the available opportunities. In Uganda, that would be a bit limited because we do not yet have a huge pipeline of jobs. So our greatest opportunity needs to be the global market. Instead of you exporting human capital where people are literally getting on the plane and going, we can actually be able to sell human capital in terms of remote work. So that was a limitation with the Harambee. And then the last one was, I think some of you may have heard it, they used to have an office, but they are not anymore. Andela, Pan-Africa. They originated in Nigeria, they expanded to Kenya, they're in Rwanda. I don't think they're active in Uganda anymore. So their model is that they identify and train tech talent, then place them on remote teams with global firms. Again, their strength is creating a strong exit strategy where young people know, I acquire these skills and there are jobs for me to do. All I need to do is to be excellent at what I'm doing and then be able to open up these opportunities. So those are the models that caught my attention as they're talking about tech advancement and leveraging tech integration, is being able to say, after we have skilled the young people, to ask the employer, to the people who are training young people, we must answer the question, then what? Or then where? Yeah. I think I lost Percy. I don't know who is taking over from Percy. Enoch, would you like to pick up? I think we lost Percy.
Oh, I think I can pick it up from there. I don't know if we still have any other questions from either people on the chat or anything that you would like to inquire from Professor before we head into a segment of discussing how to leverage technology. All right. Yeah, if there's none, thank you very much, Professor Noelin. I think your speech has been really contextual and really sets a good precedent for the next discussion, which we are going to have an insight on how we can use digital skills to leverage our potential and see how it can also alienate this problem that is really prevailing in terms of unemployment. All right. So picking up from what Professor Noeli has been discussing, I think she set a really good precedent when it comes to adopting the use of technology and how it can actually be really useful in the workplace. I like that context you gave, that yes, you can probably have a persona online and be really, have a strong presence on LinkedIn, but it's actually your skills that are actually going to make you last longer in whatever work that you are doing. So that is very important. And I think it lays very good ground for this discussion that we are going to have. So just to begin with, I would like to probably inquire, what are some of the skills gaps that probably that some of us that we are facing, especially that the people that we have online, because that's the center that's where we're going to have the discussion around in terms of the skills, the digital skills gap that we are facing, and see how best these areas can be covered. So if you can utilize the chat section so that I can have a good context in knowing some of the skills, the digital skills gaps that we are currently facing, and we can build on from that discussion from this presentation. Do we have any? Okay, Bruce is saying fundraising online. Any other? All right, I think I'll continue as they keep coming in the chat. Yes, so electricity and internet connection can be a problem. Yes, that is really a problem, especially in different areas, particularly, let's say, like in Africa, where the connection is still not yet to a good level to ensure that everyone is able to utilize this technology. And that's why actually it's very important offline tools and offline technologies are developed to mitigate some of these kinds of issues. Thank you. Online working. Okay, online working, that's a problem in terms, I feel, when you say online working, in terms of the whole arrangement of working online or actually getting work online. Interesting. Okay. All right. Yes, so in addition to what you have shared, basic digital literacy skills. So many of our young people are not really competent in some of these basic digital literacy skills, and further still, our education system, let's say like in the advanced stages, is not yet tailored to provide these kinds of things. Simple things like even just how to send a good email. It may look very simple, but many of our graduates, once they graduate, you see that they cannot even create a simple good email. So these are some of the things that really need to be nipped in the bud from the onset so that they can really be competent in the workplace. I see, again, George saying lack of cross-border educational digital project collaboration between African countries and wider global educational institutions. Yes, we need to, again, because luckily the internet provides that global scope of collaboration, but again, our young people probably do not know where to go to look for these opportunities, how to interact with them. So this is also one critical area that really requires competence in. Visibility on social media accounts. Yes, social media, how are you, I remember Professor Novelin said, is your LinkedIn update? Are you intentional about updating any career advancement or any skills that you have obtained or any project that you have undertaken? These are all different mechanisms that people who are looking to work with you will always embark on. Okay, Julia says, oh, sorry, Dr. Nolan was responding to Julius. Okay. Professor Nolan says safeguarding intellectual property. Yes, that's also another huge area, especially when it comes to the digital aspect of it. It gets really tricky because maybe this knowledge is not very publicized, or even how to do it. So again, these are some of the different areas that we really need to embark on. No lifelong learning culture. Yes, thank you very much, Charlotte, for that point. It's very, very, very important to cultivate a culture of continuous learning, because that's the only way you can continuously grow competence in your area. So being intentional about using different resources online like YouTube, different learning resources like Coursera, Hubcast, these are all different ways in which you can continuously improve your craft in whatever that you're working with. Okay, so secondly, here we have advanced market skills, advanced or market relevant skills. It's very important that, yes, digital skills are important, but what is contextual and relevant to the kind of work you're doing? You need to study your area of competence that you're working in and see what digital skills you can use to make you more efficient and effective, working better there. Then soft skills, I think, again, this is in line with this basic digital literacy skills, things like response time when it comes to communication. When you receive an email at a workplace, what's the professional time in which you can respond to? How do you professionally write to people? Many people, especially let's say like with the Gen Z or this young, they still use casual language when communicating to different people, and this kind of professional communication etiquette is very much responsible when it comes to even using communication tools. How do you collaborate online, Google Docs, and all these other tools like Trello? Thank you. Then very importantly, I think this is an aspect that is really missing a lot today, entrepreneurial digital skills. How our young people are leveraging digital technology to actually earn from them. Yes, we know how to create content, but do we know the entrepreneurship aspect of things? How do you earn from these different platforms? What are the revenue income streams and models that you can harness to ensure that you are not only skilled and competent, but you are also actually earning, and you can actually be an entrepreneur and actually employ other people. Thank you. Then also research. Research is a very huge component that is very much needed today. Being able to search the internet effectively to get information is a huge, huge skill that can really set you apart, because like as we are all aware, the internet is a very huge, wide resource, but being able to accurately search for exactly what you want is really important. George says translating digital skill competences into jobs and industry that need hands-on work, i.e. land-based green skills, engineering, construction, agriculture, and health sectors. Yes, thank you very much for that addition, George. Any other addition? Please. Okay. All right, so having looked at the skills gaps that are currently prevailing in the industry, both from you and what I've been able to provide, so now it brings us to this area of how do we now tailor training programs? How do we be intentional and purposeful in our training programs so that they can be beneficial to our people? Again, I'd like this to be interactive. You can share in the chat if you have any mechanisms that we can devise on how we can tailor training programs to be more beneficial so that they benefit everyone, and make each of us competent and purposeful at our workplaces. Okay, Phil says participatory training. Yes, very important. People need to be especially engaged with each other. When you're in your training models, how participatory are you tailoring them? Are you making activities where people are working together, collaborating? Very important. Thank you, Phil. Any other? Okay, as we wait for the rest. Yes, I think is very important, and this is goes to all different players in the ecosystem in the industry. To co-create with the industry, engage employers, tech companies, startups, and government when designing curricula. And that's why all players are very important, from the education sector, civil society. How are we engaging all these different stakeholders in designing programs that can really be beneficial at a wide scale? Then project-based learning, yes, thank you very much, Hadija. That's very true, especially when it comes to digital things. People learn better when they're working with real-time projects, things that they can actually apply knowledge to in real time. Yes, theory is very important, but application of the knowledge on real things, like, let's say, building a website, giving people tasks that they can actually build in real time is really important. Thank you. George, more network events like this, whereby local and international employers and education providers share best practices. Yes, these kinds of webinars programs are really important, because we get to hear from industry experts, we get to hear from people in academia, our youth who are employers, employed. So this exchange of ideas is really important. Thank you, George. Okay, then we also have focusing on practical hands-on learning. Yes, it's really important. I think this has been mentioned. Project-based learning, use project simulations, real business case studies. Case studies are really important because people get to learn from a real life aspect that they can relate to in real time, where they're able to provide context and actually learn from. And I believe this is really one good way of tailoring training programs to really be useful. Then very important, combining digital skills and soft skills. Today, employers want youth who can communicate, collaborate, adapt, and problem solve in digital spaces. I think this was really emphasized very much so by Professor Noeline. You need to be all round today, a combination of digital skills, but also the soft skills. And beyond even the digital skills, are you able to communicate in real life properly? How do you work well with your colleagues? All this whole that whole enclosure as a person is really important today. And when you're tailoring a training program, yes, the digital skills are important, but also the human being, the aspects of the human being that make him also work efficiently well with others is really important. Yes, then also the promotion of entrepreneurship. Not all youth will get formal jobs, so it's very important to cultivate this aspect of our youth being able to create jobs, especially in the digital economy, meaning they need to know how digital financial literacy, how they can earn from these different platforms, and how they can use technology to create sustainable living for them, but also creating opportunities for others. Do we have any others? Oh, I can continue. Okay. All right. So what are some of the innovative approaches that we can embark on towards digital inclusion? In case some ideas that you feel that if we embarked on these, this could create a better digital, cultivated population. So these are ideas that we'd like to discuss in this segment. Some of those different ideas, maybe best practices or things that that we can do to cultivate a proper digitally astute population. Again, I'll be waiting in the chat for your responses. Yeah, so as we get more responses in the chat, I think it's very important that we have community-based digital hubs. In all our communities, it's really important that we have these shared spaces where the youth can come, where there's equipment and infrastructure set up, things like good internet, computers, and even mentors there who can be able to mentor people, and the environment should be conducive for really good learning. Phil says use local languages to include everybody. Yes, very important. And yeah, this is very important. coming down to the mentors to localize content for the people. Knowing it says low bandwidth tech integrations into to enable access in local, or I think you meant low bandwidth tech integrations to enable access in low connectivity places and basic smartphones. Yes, I believe as we advance in years and of course with all different sector players on board like telecom and internet service provider coming on board, this should be coming into fusion. People need to have good access to internet at very low prices to enable them learn better. And also, I think the price of smartphones is really going low. Today, I think on average in every household, you'll find at least 2 people with a smartphone, like 10. Gerald says reduce network charges for more people to afford. Yes, that's very true. We need these internet prices to go as low to enable and effect more research and even more productivity among these people. Yes, thank you very much. Really good points that you're sharing. Also, partnership with, again, this is where all other players come into board, partnership with different telecoms, NGOs to subsidize operations, and things like providing smartphones at a subsidized cost can really go a long way into ensuring that more people are inclusive in this digital learning. Then very important, again, mobile training. Today, we know that the mobile phone is literally the most accessible gadget that people have, and is a very powerful tool. So if we are aware that this is what many of our youth have, then how are we being intentional in training them on how to use their mobile phones to create meaningful content, to disseminate, and also be able to engage with people in these different online spaces? Literally, most of the things that we do with a computer can now be done with a mobile phone. But how are we tailoring our trainings to that? So mobile training, training people on how to use their mobile phones in a meaningful way to create digital content is really important. And of course, making short interactive content makes it easier and more flexible for people to learn better. Then also having blended and flexible learning models. Yes, this is very important because you'll find that in some areas may not, we have talked about community-based digital hubs. It may not be so possible for people to come to these hubs at all given times, but if we approach this from a blended approach whereby we're able to have some classes, let's say online and others physical, it means that you are able to give these skills to people within your community, but even on a global scale, because there's nothing stopping you from providing this kind of access to anyone across the world who is in need of it. Further continuation, also partnership with the private sector. Again, this we have talked about this. How can we partner with different players in the industry that can come on board to sponsor some of the scholarships, training programs that can really benefit our youth? And also employers going a long way to provide equipment and even trainers and job placement pipelines. Then, okay. Daniel says government should set up a shared open source digital infrastructure which other organizations can build on. Thank you very much. That's very true. Then also peer-to-peer and mentorship networks. It's very important that we have these people who have probably are very competent or very digitally astute, be a source of inspiration and are able to mentor other people. Because usually our youth or anyone, once you see your peers who are really competent in this area, it's a source of inspiration that they can build on. So we need these champions in these different areas to mentor our people as much as possible. I think Maran says public Wi-Fi, offer free Wi-Fi. Yes, again, this is the digital infrastructure that we're talking about. These things need to be set up to ensure that people can benefit from this internet resource. Yeah, then also being very intentional with being inclusive and tailored approaches. How are you encompassing all people with different difficulties in terms of, let's say, the content that you're providing, or even the learning mechanisms that you're putting in place? Are you doing sign language? Someone talked about localized language versions and even other technologies, this screen reader technology that can help people with vision impairment to be able to access this content, and also designing women-friendly programs or childcare support flexible schedules. Yeah, do we have any other addition to this? Because as we wind up. Yeah, I really appreciate the input that you've given in the chat, and I really believe we've had a good discussion. And I believe with these approaches and being intentional about them, we should be able to leverage digital skills and technology to ensure that it reduces this unemployment gap and helps us get where we want to do. Thank you very much. I think I can hand back to proceed.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Edward, for that presentation. I think it gives us really a lot of options to choose from in how we can handle what we are talking about, unemployment among young people, and how we can leverage technology and digital skills to address this challenge. And maybe just to know that Edward is a digital communications professional, and he has done this for over, I think, 8 years, training young people, training organizations in the use of social media, website design, and all that comes with tech. So to have Edward here is really a great honor for us. And Edward is also the training lead at the Digital Grassroots Youth Hub, which is really addressing the inadequate digital skills among young people, and especially at the grassroots. We know that there is really that digital divide when it comes to people who are staying in the rural areas and those who are staying in other parts of the world. So it's that great work that Edward is doing, and we are really very honored to have you, and also for this engagement that you've had with us. I don't know if there is anyone with a question to Edward, but I think we are going to reserve that. I would like to introduce another young person who is here to really talk to us, and this is none other than Lynn. Lynn is quite special. I really look at Lynn with a special eye because I know what she's doing. Most of our young people will be looking down on that, but Lynn's love for agriculture and Uganda's remarkable diversity elevated her to the title of Miss Diversity Uganda 2025. And through her work, Lynn demonstrates the ability to elevate the profile of Uganda's agricultural riches, driving inclusive development and fostering pride in Uganda's identity. And I would love to welcome Lynn to let us in on what drives her and her passion for agriculture and how other young people can actually borrow a leaf. Welcome, Lynn.
Thank you so much. But I'm kindly requesting that I use the voice call, because I'm in the farm currently, and I can't share my screen with you people because I'm already in the farm. A good morning, distinguished guests, our fellow leaders, and most importantly, the young people gathered here today. I will start with a quote which says that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but then our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure, and then we ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? So as I speak to you today, I come with one message I hold dear. The future of our youth is not in waiting for what jobs, but it is in creating them. And one of the greatest opportunity for this transformation, I believe, lies in agriculture, which is what I have firsthand, and that is something that I have experienced, and it's what I'm doing. So, for a long time, agriculture has been seen as an activity of survival, but what rather a success. So yet in reality, agriculture is a backbone of our economies, the provider of our daily bread, and then a vast field of untapped opportunities. Imagine a generation of young people who do not see agriculture like something that is done by the peasants, but then something that is of an innovation, something that is profitable, an enterprise that is modern. This is the vision we must all embrace, we as the youth. So how do we get there? First of all, I think through training workshops. These sessions should not teach the basics of farming, but also skills such as financial literacy, agri-tech, value addition, and marketing. With the right knowledge, the young people can move from the sustainable farming to agribusiness enterprises that thrive. Then I think secondly, we must create internship opportunities by attracting youth to successful farms, agribusiness companies, and then cooperatives. This allows them to learn the first hand from the practitioners. And then this is how theory turns into practice, and then the passion turns into expertise. I am a living example of this because I carried out my internship. It was in 2023 from Njero Stock Farm. But then currently I am practicing what I learned from my internship. Because I learned from the very practitioners, like I got the first-hand skills from the practitioners, like the farm manager of that farm. So then I am now using the skills to make up something. I am not waiting to be employed anywhere, but then I'm just using the skills I gained into establishing something great for the future. Then thirdly, I think we must establish the community-based mentorship programs, whereby we can get every successful farmer, an agronom, like an agronomist, and then maybe the agri entrepreneurs that can take a mentorship, and then they guide our young youth, leading them like what I'm currently doing here in Arua. I am carrying out commercial poultry production training, and I train the young youth and then the hostage community. So I believe if at all we carry out this training, and then we keep on training more and more youths, this is going to be an opportunity for our youth not to wait until employment, but to start up to start up something on their own with their skills they have. Yeah. So I think with this, I think that is what we can start on to reduce this state of unemployment in Uganda. Then something on inspiring and motivating youths. From my experience, engaging with the youth like on ground, what really inspires and motivates them, I believe, is the idea of success. It is the power of survival. And I have seen firsthand that many of the youth, especially those who have taken on like the household responsibilities, are driven by the incredible resilience. But then what keeps them going is seeing a tangible result on their own, and then they are actively getting skilled from the content creation in agriculture, and then making conscious financial decisions by joining circles. And then this hunger for right change, this is a vision of a better and a more dignified life that truly keeps our youth going. Then on also taking charge of their employability, like what makes the what youth take on this part of the employability. It all starts with a change in the mindset, because the mindset is the most powerful thing. It is something that really drives most of the youth. So young people can take charge of their employability journey by not waiting for external intervention. But then, like I would say, starting early is always better. Like, let us not wait for maybe most of the youth have this what mindset that what after campus I have to sit and I wait for the graduation and then I get employed. I am also a finalist that is waiting for graduation, but then I couldn't wait for after graduation and then I start making a difference and impacting my future. But then what I had to do is I had to sit and think, where can I start from? Out of the frustration, then that is where I got this idea of like using the skills I got from the farm and I train it to others. That is like I'm creating opportunities for the other youths out there. I'm also showing them that through this we can have a better way, we can have a way forward to go. Like a wise man once said that give a person fish and you fed him for one day, but then teach the person how to feed fish, then you fed him for a lifetime. That is what I think I am doing, and then that is what I think all of us should now embark on. Let us not employ one person and we say we have done it. Get a number of people and let us train them. Let us train them, and then let us show them the pathway to employment. Let them not rely on the external intervention. And then I think we need to become multi-skilled. Imagine a banker with a thriving kitchen garden, or maybe a teacher with a growing retail shop. This is how passion turns into expertise. And then this is how you go from waiting for a job to creating your own wealth and your own future. So I hope my fellow youths, we are picking a leaf from what I'm saying. I know most of you are hearing me stammer. Yes, I have a stammer. I'm a stammerer. I'm a natural stammerer, but that doesn't still stop me from talking to the youth, training to the youth, because I will want to use my voice to make a platform for all the youths out there. So then, lastly, as I conclude, I have a message I want to pass on to the policymakers, to the policymakers and maybe the employers. My message is one: we should invest in the youth. Youth are not a problem to be solved, but then we are the incredible untapped resource. For the policymakers, I think we must what? We must now learn how to promote the technical and then the vocational schools. Then with the recognized certificates in the employment structure. Because I hear right now the certificates are now being phased out, but then if at all we can reactivate these institutions so that it can capture the talents of the youths that are not able to go and pursue like a degree. This is how we are going to skill our youths. So that is what I can say to the policymakers out there. And then maybe for the employers, I think I can challenge you to create more spaces for meaningful internship. And then this isn't just charity. It is an investment that allows youth to acquire the skills we need, and then embrace new technologies like the AI that Madame Prosi was talking about. So let us learn how to embrace that. I think when we invest in us, the youth, you're not just building a workforce, you are building a legacy of innovation and prosperity for our entire nation. And to conclude, what I want to tell you people out there that we the youth, like if you empower the youth, you're empowering families, you're empowering communities, and empowering the nation at wide. So let us look for key ways. We are looking for key ways of what employing like the what youth, and then we empower them into sectors. Like let them embark into agriculture. Let us show them that some of the things that they ignore, these are the pathways to success. So with that, I think that is what I can say to the youth. Sorry for the stammering. I'm just a natural stammerer, but that still doesn't stop me from airing out my voice and whatever, showing the what youth that if I can, then why can't you? You, a person that has both hands, speaks very well. So let us all use our platforms to keep on encouraging youth. So yeah, thank you so much.
Amazing. And Lynn, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I can assure you we are proud of you for the work that you're doing in agriculture, because that is a sector that for a long time has been frowned upon by young people like you. But for you to come up and showcase the value that we find in agriculture, and which is a backbone to our country, Uganda, is an amazing thing that you're doing. And we encourage you to go on. We believe that other young people will borrow a leaf and learn from what you're able to achieve, even as you say. And like you said, you can do it. It doesn't really matter. And everybody should actually be able to do it. I picked a few things from your presentation, and you said that youth should move from just practicing sustainable agriculture to agribusiness enterprises that thrive. And I really agree with you on that. And also you put up a very strong call to action where you say we should invest in the youth. And I think that is a call that we are all putting forward, because we know that youth are actually the leaders of today, no longer tomorrow, but today. And for what you are doing, it's really amazing. And then you also talk about internships. Yeah, I think that is really a great thing. The internships should be meaningful. They should really add value to youth and what they aspire to be. And we see innovation in there and prosperity. So thank you again, Lynn, for taking off this time from the time you would have been on the farm, but at least you've divided that and given us some of your time to just speak to us about addressing the issue of unemployment and underemployment among young people in Uganda and beyond. So we shall proceed. I don't know if anyone has a question. If you think you have a question for Lynn, you just have to raise that hand, and then we shall see it and let you in. Otherwise, I would love us to proceed with a video. There's a short video that we need to show. I will not talk about it because you're there to see it. So Helpcast, you can project the video. Thank you.
In Uganda, over 60% of young people aged 18 to 30 are unemployed. They dream of opportunity, but the job market feels out of reach. Introducing Job Launchpad Uganda, a 45-day WhatsApp-based bootcamp set to transform youth unemployment into opportunity. Accessible anywhere, Even in rural areas, it's designed to equip young people with skills for the future. Job Launchpad Uganda, a 45-day WhatsApp-based bootcamp set to transform youth unemployment into opportunity. Accessible anywhere, even in rural areas, it's designed to equip young people with skills for the future. Starting October 2025, participants will master employability skills, entrepreneurial know-how, and green expertise, especially in solar energy. Our goal, 80% job placement or business success in just 45 days. Through our solar energy track, partnered with a solar company, you will train with experts, gain hands-on skills, and unlock internships or jobs in the booming green industry.
With Job Launchpad, I am ready to learn solar panel installation and launch my own business. I can't wait to partner with a solar company to power my future.
We are launching a movement to empower Uganda's youth, but we can't do it alone. We need you, participants eager to learn, mentors and trainers to guide, partners like Hubcast Media International, DGY Hub to fuel this vision.
Be part of the launch. Text JOIN, JOIN, to +256 772 987 442. Whether you are a young person chasing a career, a mentor sharing expertise, a trainer shaping futures, a partner creating jobs, or a funder lighting the way. Together with our partners, we are turning unemployment into opportunity. One skill, one job, one solar panel at a time.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for that short video. And at this time, I would like to bring in Enoch Nsubuga, who is the Partnerships Coordinator at Master Peace Uganda. And he describes himself as passionate about transforming the lives of young Ugandans by unlocking their potential as leaders, innovators, and change makers. Welcome, Enoch Nsubuga.
Thank you, Prosi. Wow. I'm overwhelmed. Firstly, allow me thank all the speakers before me. Dr. Noeline, you really did justice to this topic. Edward, very knowledgeable. And Lynn, thank you so much for sharing your experience. Agriculture happens to be that sector that is supposed to be employing a lot of young people, but unfortunately, so many young people see it as boring and for the old people. But look at you, very passionate and doing great for yourself already. So once again, my name is Enoch Nsubuga, and I'm the Partners Coordinator at Master Peace Uganda, as well as the co-founder of Master Peace Uganda. At Master Peace Uganda, we are a youth-focused organization that is committed to helping young people find gainful employment. We do that through specialized training and innovation. Previously we've been implementing the Young Africa Works program by MasterCard Foundation, and as someone who was deeply involved with the trainings with young people, I discovered a few missing links, something similar to what Dr. Noeline said before. The question, the big question, then what? So the program was about upskilling young people in soft skills and employability skills. But then that question kept popping up. Fine, we've trained these young people, but then what? And so that's how the idea of setting up a platform that does not only train young people, by the not just training, but training them in specialized skills, and then having an opportunity to link them to real opportunities in, say, internships and at least entry-level jobs. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me introduce to you Job Launchpad Uganda. And to do that, just allow me share my screen shortly. And shortly. Come on. There you are. Yeah, so welcome to Job Launchpad Uganda. Job Launchpad Uganda is a 45-day WhatsApp bootcamp aimed at transforming youth unemployment into opportunity through innovative mobile-first training. So the challenges we are trying to solve, like many of our speakers have tried to tackle, include the high unemployment. Uganda's youth unemployment rates remain critically above national averages, leaving young talented people without pathways to meaningful careers. Then there's that issue of skills mismatch. Graduates lack practical skills that employers desperately need currently, creating a gap between education and employment. So it's very important that Job Launchpad is going to concentrate on specialized training and education as specialized training and education as opposed to general education that many of us have grown up with. Then there's the aspect of rural exclusion. Traditional training programs fail to reach rural youth who need opportunities most, but lack access to urban centers. Then what's the market opportunity? Africa's green economy boom, of course. Africa's green economy could create millions of jobs by 2030, with Uganda leading solar energy expansion through comprehensive roadmaps. Employers across digital and green sectors report severe shortcomings or shortages of skilled talent, creating immediate opportunities for young trained youth. This is one sector. This is one sector that we think, actually we don't think, but research shows that there are so many opportunities that the green jobs sector has currently, but unfortunately, so many young people have not yet embraced it. So we thought it very important to include this track, green jobs, into the skills that we are going to be equipping with young people. And so we are currently looking for partners in the green energy space to collaborate on training, mentorship, and opportunities for young people. Yeah, so you might be wondering why we chose to deliver this program on WhatsApp. WhatsApp happens to be the most popular platform currently in Uganda. It's Uganda's mostly widely used mobile platform, ensuring maximum reach and engagement among the youth across all regions. It's also a proven micro-learning platform, research-backed. It's a research-backed tool for micro-learning and group mentoring that fits into busy daily schedules. And then there's that aspect of rural accessibility. I'll tell you that when we were implementing the Young Africa Works program in Eastern Uganda, we were doing this mostly in communities, in the villages, but we discovered that at least most young people firstly had smartphones and could access the internet through their smartphones. So by choosing WhatsApp, it was because we realized that at least the biggest percentage of young people right now have access to a smartphone and can easily access WhatsApp. It's also easy to use, unlike so many platforms. So once again, this is our solution to youth unemployment in Uganda. This 45-day model, it includes daily micro tasks, 20 to 45 minutes structured learning sessions via WhatsApp with weekly live Q&A sessions. It also includes a 6-month mentorship program, post-program support, ensuring successful transition to employment or entrepreneurship. So we're very lucky that we were able to get into partnership with the DGY Hub that is already doing digital entrepreneurship skills. So they will be very key in during this period of mentorship. And we shall be giving you more information on how this will be handled. But at least we are safe that there will be a period where someone will work with you, you the young people, someone will work with you and mentor you throughout your ventures. And then there's that aspect, the main aspect of job placement. Like I said, during the Young Africa Works program, there was that missing link. We were training young people, but leaving them hanging. And so this aspect of job placement happens to be the strongest backbone of Job Launchpad. We are working to partner with employers so that we help our learners get real opportunities, as in internships and at least entry-level jobs. So direct connections to employers and real-world project experience during the training. Yeah, then these are the 5 tracks or the 5 elements of the job launchpad, or the skills that we are going to be equipping young people with. They include technology, digital skills, web development, IT support roles, of course, AI, coding, and all that. All that will come under the technology track. And then we have entrepreneurship, which is business development and startup creation. And then we have health care, community health support and medical assistance. And then we have the big one, agriculture, modern farming techniques and agri-business. And then solar energy or green energy, green jobs in Uganda's expanding renewable sector. We chose these 5 tracks because we believe that they hold the biggest opportunities currently for young people. So we shall be putting a lot of energies in these 5 tracks, much as we shall have skills in soft skills and employability skills, things like CV writing, cover letter writing, how to prepare for interviews and all that. We shall have that as a foundation for this program. And then this is how the program is going to flow, the program structure. So in weeks 1 and 2, we shall have employability skills. We shall have digital basics, and then we shall also introduce these 5 tracks that I've been talking about. And then in weeks 3 and 4, we shall have track specific deep dive with hands-on micro projects. So at this level, we believe that our pilot learners would have chosen which disciplines to go with, and then in week 5 we shall have real employer value chain projects and practical application. This is when we shall be having our partners in employment to give internship opportunities to the learners, internship opportunities and hands-on training. And then in week 6, placement preparation and demo day presentations. So at this stage, we shall know who wants to go the career way to get into employment, and who would like to go the entrepreneurship way with startups. So at this level, we shall be in position to have people apply for real jobs, and then we shall have those into entrepreneurship, an opportunity for them to pitch their business ideas to potential investors and funders. So then, of course, after these 45 days, we shall have a 6 months of post-program mentorship and placement support to ensure sustainable career development. And yeah, let's talk about the strategic partnerships. Like I said, we already have CEMCOD and DIGY Hub, who are going to do a lot of digital skilling and mentorship. We have Hubcast Media, who are already doing a great job in storytelling, telling our story. And then we are looking for solar companies that will help with training, placements, and mentorship. And then organizations like Jumia for e-commerce micro projects, digital marketplace, and training opportunities. Yeah, so the investment opportunities. What are the investment opportunities for this program? Why should you invest now? Number one, early move advantage in green skills and youth employment solutions for our prospects in green energy or green jobs. Then direct access to skilled labor pipeline for Uganda's growing economy. This is yours, dear employers. And then low cost, high impact pilot with measurable validation metrics. And then proven founding partners, Master Peace Uganda, CEMCOD, DIGY Hub. These are people who are already doing great work in youth empowerment through youth employment. And then what are our funding priorities? So we are looking at developing our curriculum across those 5 tracks that I spoke about early. And then mentors, facilitation and operations, and then partner coordination systems, and then monitoring and evaluation. Dear funders and donors, that's where your monies will go once you come on board as a partner in that area. Yeah, so lastly, the big call itself. We invite you to join this movement, this program. For you, the young people, we invite you to apply for this 45 days of practical skills, mentorship, and direct job access. Applications are now open for our October 2025 pilot. And for you, dear investors and funders, please be part of Uganda's green and digital future while creating sustainable employment pathways. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I look forward to any other questions about this program. Thank you. Over to you, Prosi.
Thank you. Thank you, Enoch, for that elaborate presentation about the Job Launchpad, the 45-day WhatsApp bootcamp for youth who are seeking employment. And I think, yeah, I wouldn't want really to repeat what you said. That was really direct. And for those who would really love to join, I think I've seen a link that has been shared in the chat. If you like to apply for the 45-day WhatsApp Job Launchpad with the Master Peace and Digital Grassroots Youth Hub that is run by CEMCOD, then you are welcome to apply. The link is in the chat. I also know there might be people with some questions, but I'll begin by going through the chat. I saw a lot of conversations going through the chat, so I'll go through as you prepare to ask Enoch your questions or clarifications. Yeah, I'll just scroll through. So I don't, okay, I'll try to. How can we keep in touch with Edward? Okay, that one has been answered. Let's see. I have a prototype of addressing youth unemployment that I seek to develop. Who can support me through this? That is Harriet Adong. I am thinking you'll get the responses there. I'll still go through. Hello. I am a youth training farmers using digital solar projectors as a business. How can we work together? CEO for IEC Materials Consultants. That was me. Yes, we shall get in touch with you. It's good that you dropped your contact. Yeah, thank you. The same. Most young people shun agriculture, viewing it as something for the illiterates or school dropouts. I think I started from far. Okay. That was the problem is the school attitude during agriculture was a punishment for breaking the rules. So yeah, I can see the conversations were still going on even from Lynn's presentation. Thank you for keeping the conversation going. For some inspiring stories, Ugandan youth entrepreneurs for rural access, look at the link there that has been shared by Phil. Please, people, if you're not going through the chat, I think there is a lot, so much on the chat. I'm really impressed by what is going on and the sharing. Thank you. Okay. Dad, you can join. Okay. Great presentation. Great job, Enoch. Thanks, Enoch. Well done. All right. So I can see if there is some, I can see Lynn's hand is up. Lynn, do you have a question or something to submit? Your hand is up, so maybe you can unmute and ask your question.
All right, thank you
sorry,
so much.
proceed. Sorry, Lynn, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Enoch. But me, I'm having one question about accessibility and reach. So how does the program reach and engage young people in rural areas who may not have access to formal technology or maybe the job platforms how is this program going to reach someone that is looking up for this opportunity but doesn't have a smartphone? Then I think another question, my second question is, what role does this program play in empowering youth to take on leadership roles within their own community?
Thank you, Lynn. Like I said in my presentation, how we came up with the idea of using WhatsApp is because through observation, we realized that at least a good percentage of young people in the communities where we were operating at least had access to a smartphone and were in position to access WhatsApp. But I feel you. I understand your fears. That's why in our scaling phase, we intend to once the funding comes through, we intend to provide solar-powered tabs for people that won't be able to won't be in position to have access to smartphones or WhatsApp. At least we have that considered in our scaling phase sometime next year. And then you spoke about the opportunities for young people to take up leadership roles. We've already identified you, Lynn, as a potential leader in this program. And so we shall be engaging you on how to continue using this platform to empower fellow young people. And so that and much more is how we that's how we intend to give young people a platform to be leaders in their own communities. Job Launchpad is a platform that will keep evolving. We also plan on having regional hubs, regional training hubs, where people will walk into centers and have and be equipped with skills, just like what we shall be delivering through WhatsApp. So all that is in our scaling stage, and it will happen as we move on and as we get more partners on board. Hope I've been able to answer you, Lynn.
All right, thank you. Enoch, I see another hand up, Kasamba. Kasamba, please unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Prosi. My name is Kasamba Salim from Bujiri District. I provide training services to farmers using solar projectors. I link up with fellow youths across the country, and we team up whenever there is more effort that is needed. And I was requesting for partnerships in training, and then also helping us to utilize all the opportunities around us to create employment for ourselves. So I set up a small hall there in the Bujiri district where we use solar projectors to train farmers. But for this time around, I wanted to ask, since most of the youth in the rural setup do not have access to smartphones, will it be possible for me to mobilize like around 300 youths to come and follow the trainings that we shall have on WhatsApp? I have access to a training hall. I have access to a projector, which is solar powered, and we don't need power in the rural setup. Will it be possible, and how shall we go about it? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That's a very good idea on how to deliver this program. Fortunately or unfortunately for our pilot, we shall be having between 15 to 20 participants. We are keeping the numbers low because we want to be very sure that everything is delivered on point. And then we shall have a scaling stage where we go to between 50 and 100 participants. And so we believe at that stage, we shall be able to employ ideas like you've just spoken about, or what I was telling Lynn about, having regional hubs that are powered by solar, and internet, free internet for young people to access this program. So kindly leave your number in the chat. We shall engage more and see how to develop this. Also, Prosi, I wanted to tell you that before the webinar, I had a chat with Phil. Phil happens to be the co-founder of Access Agriculture. And since agriculture happens to be one of our big tracks for this program, they have a program that empowers farmers through video education. And I've since learned that they have empowered it more with AI. So at your own time, Prosi, you will allow Phil to 2 to 3 minutes to explain more about that and how Access Agriculture is going to help participants in the job launchpad with skills and opportunities. Thank you, Prosi.
Thank you, Enoch. I think, yeah, I'm looking at my time and I'm left with 4 minutes to end the webinar. And as Phil prepares to come on, definitely we are really interested in hearing your innovation and what young people have to learn from you. I'm just going to ask every participant on the call, please, in the chat, just write one thing that you're going to do after this webinar. And one thing that you've picked from this webinar, so that we can see how we follow up with each of you, but also for us to feel good about ourselves, you know? Yeah, so please, one thing you've learned, and then one commitment you're making about addressing the issue of youth unemployment in Uganda and beyond. Please do that as I welcome Phil in 2 minutes, please. To let us in on the innovation. You're welcome, Phil.
Thank you so much, Prosi. I'm actually from a radio background. I've worked in radio from the age of 16, so I know about youth employment. I used to have a Saturday job, answering the phones, doing work with sport, because it was up in Liverpool, in Merseyside. Then I went to university. I could have done communication at university, but you only got into the studio once a term. So I did geography, but worked every morning at a radio station from 6 until 9. It meant by the time I left university, I had 5 years experience in radio. I first came to Uganda in 1985, before all of you were born, I know. But this is what I want to talk to you about. This little baby is the smart projector. This is what the youngster you just heard from before, Kasamba, he is using. We have 2 mentors, Ezra and Sylvia. They are helping young people to run a business where they show farmer-to-farmer training videos in Ugandan languages, both to local people and up at Arua, where Lynn is, also to some of the refugees as well. Lots of the stories are in this little book called Young Changemakers. I have put in the chat a link to there, and you'll see 5 inspiring stories from young people in Uganda able to reach out and reach other people. So I really want you to get in touch with Ezra and Sylvia and see what is possible, because the young people in Uganda can do things, but there is still one discrimination in your country. It is discrimination against young people. Young people have to prove themselves to the elders, and the elders are not always forthcoming. So I do say, Uganda, you've got independence. Why can't we have independence for your youth as well? Give them the chance. Let them show, as Lynn inspired us, that there is a chance for them to be able to do things and to contribute to their communities. And we can't just do it in English. It must be in the local languages, especially if you want to empower women who might not have had in the past those educational opportunities. So all I'm going to do now is just share with you very, very briefly what it is that we have now got on our website. I hope you'll now be able to see the website. And one of the main things you can see straight away is you can choose by language, what language you want to have. And there are many, many Ugandan languages there, including that one, or what's that called? Luganda, yeah, that one there. But this is the new thing we have. It is something called Ask Aggie. Now, Aggie is now a search engine which works through AI. So I'm going to now just go to Aggie and ask him or her or it, what is it that we can find out about? Oh, what was Lynn doing? Poultry. Okay, poultry training. Yeah, if I can spell poultry, that is. Okay, and let's have a quick look. It will now tell us exactly what is possible about poultry training in Uganda. It will tell us what videos are available. And then we have a chance to see that these are things which are on the website. So increasing production of local chickens. So you've got it available in a whole load of different languages, 30 languages. Feeding improved chickens. Working together for healthy chicks. And then in some of the other languages for Africa. So that one is for Uganda. And then you've got other ones. If you put in Ugandan languages, you'll get information for Ugandan languages. So that is all I wanted to share with you. Please register on accessagriculture.org. Immediately then, you can download the videos. If you're a radio station, you can download the soundtrack, and you can also download a one-page fact sheet. So that gives young people information, because these videos are not the professors telling you what to do. These videos are farmer to farmer and translated for those local languages. So I'm amazed at what you've been able to achieve in this very short webinar. I'm very pleased to hear the enthusiasm of the young people of Uganda. We have them as part of our network, and we have wonderful people like Sylvia and Ezra doing that work to help to mentor young people. And I wish you every good luck with this initiative, because we don't just want to work in 5s and 10s. We want to work in hundreds, thousands, and hundreds of thousands, because Ugandan youth deserves to have investment. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Phil, for filling us in on that. And I hope, yeah, we are taking note and would really love to work together and see that we are addressing this issue jointly, in partnership, in collaboration, because this is not one thing that can be done just by one person. We need collaboration in every way. And so I might not really, I ask people to type in. I will read a few commitments, and then we are going to be wrapping this up. I have a commitment from Kasamba, who says, I'm going to inform other youths about the program. I'll be using my WhatsApp number, display it on the projector for other youths who don't have smartphones to train and also have access. Thank you, that is great. And then George says, with existing partners, we'll continue to focus on building project collaboration between UK and Uganda education and employer sectors. Thank you very much, George, for that commitment. And I have Esther Luzinda, who says we are committed to training youth in podcasts and digital learning. I've seen so many of these commitments. I'm not going to be able to read them all now, but I'm really excited at seeing what we are committing to do to address youth unemployment and unemployment, and also working together to see that we address this as a partnership. Thank you very much. I'm just going to go through and thank our dear speakers who have been here, who have given in their time. From our keynote, Dr. Noelin, once again, thank you very much. I picked the 7 pillars. I'm actually going to be using that a lot to talk to young people, but also for myself. I mean, we learn every day. So thank you, Dr. Noelin, for sharing your wisdom. That was really amazing. And you also asked us to make technology our friend. I think that is very, very powerful. And for young people to join professional spaces, embrace mentorship and lifelong learning, but also for the elders to come up with the exit strategy that allows the young people to lead. Thank you, Dr. Noelin. And from Edward, thank you. You gave us a lot of knowledge about digital skills and innovation. And we really thank you. We shall take you on that, because we are many who would like to be tech savvy, and your area is what trains us to be. So Lynn, the amazing Lynn, Thank you. Thank you. I think your courage, whatever you're doing, we are really very proud of you. No limitation is limitation enough for you, and that's the spirit that we'd like to see young people, get on. And also you put up a very passionate call for us to invest in youth innovation and the fact that the idea of success keeps youth motivated. So we are taking that on, and we are not forgetting. And Enoch, for launching the 45-day WhatsApp job launchpad. I think you can see the excitement with that, and the young people are ready to get on, because this is something I've read a number of applications already where people are really excited and looking forward to get into the job launchpad, learn and excel, but also be connected to the employers. And lastly, Phil, that was amazing. You brought us the young change makers, and also the fact that in Uganda, there is still discrimination against young people. We need to work on that. And I believe that conversations like these also show you that in Uganda, we also care about young people. And that's why we are having this conversation that has been convened by Master Peace Uganda and Center for Media Literacy and Community Development, supported by Hubcrest, who have been in the background, bringing us these amazing pictures and frames and everything. I don't know how to do this. I'm really looking forward to learning how to produce a webinar like this myself. And Hubcrest Media, thank you very much for working behind the scenes to ensure that this webinar came to a success. Yes. I see a hand. I'm wrapping up. Esther, what do you want to say? Okay, Esther, in 30 seconds, I think, because we need to wrap this up and we move.
I'm so sorry. It's just a mistake. I wanted to clap for Hubcrest for doing all the magic behind. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, thank you, but that's good. Thank you. Yeah, we can all do that. So yeah, I think we have to bring wonderful. Thank you, Hubcrest. This was amazing, and thank you to all our speakers again. I will not say that again, and everybody else who has been on the planning committee to bring this to a success. But also, most importantly, thank you to all the participants who took off your time, registered, and actually turned up to come and have this conversation. We thank you. Without you, this wouldn't have been a success. So thank you very much. Let's keep in touch. We have contacts in the chat. Please copy all the contacts on the chat, because this is a movement that we are building to ensure that we address the issue of youth unemployment in Uganda, but also beyond. So from me to you, thank you again. This brings us to the end of this webinar, and we wish you the best of the day. Bye.
Recording stopped.